Welcome to the Leverton on Everything podcast. I'm Leverton, and this is Everything, a daily podcast where I review literally everything in under 10 minutes. Today, we're going to be reviewing White Boy from 2017. I gave it 8 out of 10 stars. My title, More People Should Have Been Charged. This is an interesting documentary that asks what happens when the people who enforce the law break it. It narrates the true story of White Boy Rick, a teenager who was groomed to be an FBI informant, then abandoned to a life of crime, and then ultimately arrested and sentenced to one of the most draconian prison sentences ever for being a drug dealer. He received life in prison. I have so many questions about the situation. Obviously, the first question is, why was Detroit allowed to be such a corrupt place in the 1980s? The mayor and candidates for mayors basically were friends with and protecting drug dealers. The movie does address some of these allegations, and there are charges that come out of that eventually. But it has to be some kind of crime to groom a 14-year-old to be an informant against very dangerous people. He was almost assassinated twice. I don't know about you, but I have never almost been assassinated. So I think there should be some charges for whoever was responsible for him becoming an informant. And then there's the fact that when he was arrested, he was in bed with the niece of the mayor. He was sentenced when he was 17, so obviously he was younger than that when he was arrested. Therefore, the person in bed with him was committing a crime, so why wasn't she charged with anything? It's an interesting documentary because it examines the media's culpability in creating the legend of White Boy Rick, but I think it doesn't do a good enough job, of addressing the biggest problem in the whole situation, which is who thought it was a wise idea to have an informant who was 14 years old. Yeah, and then he kind of got mythologized later. He was in rap songs like White Boy Rick, like it was some big choice of his to become a criminal. So, yeah, crazy story. If you want to hear other crazy stories, you can check out my other podcasts, Death by Disney, where I review Disney films, and the Everything and More Etc. podcast. I forgot the name for a moment there. But yeah, check it out. I do that one with my son. Bye.